And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Podcast Juice Live. It's your host, Michael Dean. Joining me today is Mr. Ampu. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Only had to work 2 hours today.
Oh, you had to work?
Uh, the the I was about to say something disparaging, but they still pay my checks, write my checks. My Konami, the great company with its infinite wisdom, decided to launch their newest video game, Pro Evolution Soccer 2015. Get it now on Veterans Day. So,
What game is this?
Pro Evolution Soccer
Or what?
2015.
Oh, 2015. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
You
well,
probably thinking of the other. And they decided to launch it first in North America on a U.S. holiday where the U.S. office, where the North America office is. So we had to go in early. Go in for a few hours and make sure everything was copacetic.
now, that's a Japanese company, right?
Yep. So they gave no fucks
Right.
about
What's that?
it.
Veterans Day, Japanese. Probably like,
But you know what the messed up part about it is? And I'm not complaining. I mean, do you? They're on like a 3-day holiday in Japan.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So you like, come on.
All
It's
right.
all love.
Man, so what was I going to say? Oh, also joining us, Mr. Sean Heel. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, and I don't know if you guys can see. I got this little out of work porn star look going with this little mustache, doing the no shave. Well, not the no shave, but the Movember thing for work. So this is a kind of a new look for me, and not really feeling it, but it's for a good cause. So be it. But I'm doing well. Thanks.
All right, and I forgot to plug in there for a second. So for our audio listeners, welcome to the Prince Podcast, a podcast juice. Sorry about that. For our listeners or viewers online, welcome. Let me say this at the beginning, so we don't have any confusion. If you're watching us live right now, whether it's YouTube, if you're on YouTube, for instance, you can leave a comment on the YouTube page, and we will be able to see it and show it on the program. And then for those of you that are on the Google Hangout side of things, you can leave a comment over there, and we'll see it here too. So we will be able to interact with you guys. Shout out to Big Sexy and Sack, and also shout out to Q Storm. Couldn't make it tonight. Maybe they might jump in. I'm not sure. But shout out to those brothers. And tonight we're going to do like a battle of the bands. We're going to talk about the Revolution and then the Saint Times Lovesexy band. So we're gonna get into it and really look at who was the funkiest band, who was the best band. We're gonna do all that. Before we get into that, we're gonna kind of warm up a little bit. Man, I just wanted to say, I got me a Xbox One. I'm
You go
finally
right again.
into the next
Oh,
generation.
happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. 45. So yeah. So yeah, I was able to get one of those, and I got the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I've never played one of these games before. I thought that game was excellent, man. It was dope. I was like shocked. The graphics was tight, reminded me of the PC or something. I had a lot of fun with that. So I don't know, have you played that game, Ant, or are you up on that? Or
Have not played that yet, but I'm a Call of Duty fan.
Oh.
I suck in multiplayer where it's me against everybody else and we shooting each other, team deathmatch and all that. I don't know how those little fuckers can shoot so goddamn fast and accurate, but I ain't got no damn business playing that much video game. You should be doing some book learning. Fuckers.
You know, when I started playing a little bit of multiplayer last night, they was tearing my behind up at first.
Yes.
At first, but then I started getting into it, and it was fun. I started getting people and getting hyped, so it was cool. I also got Assassin's Creed Unity, I think is what it's called.
Wait, is that the new one? That's the new one that came out this year?
Yeah, it was a bundle with what I bought, so they gave it to me for free. So we tried that out. That was kind of cool. But I know today the Halo Master Chief Collection came out. So yeah, I'm about to get up on that. I'm gonna struggle to get these podcasts out, but hey, big boy toys. There you go.
Well, what you should do, the moment they make Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 for the Xbox One, get that You'll thank me later and play Zombies. Zombies is the truth.
Oh, yeah. I want to do that. I heard that, and we're gonna get off the geek stuff, ladies and gentlemen. But I did hear they got some zombies in this new one, but I don't know how to unlock it yet. I saw
Really?
something on
Oh,
IGN. Yeah, so.
I better peek that out. Maybe I might be getting that myself. I normally wait for Treyarch, which is one of Activision's, the maker of Call of Duty franchise, to their studio to make the games because that's when they get that zombies in. That's why I run shit up in zombies.
Oh, okay. There we go. What else quickly before we get into things? Oh, you know what we have to just quickly mention? For Prince fans, it is damn near Christmas time right now. A couple of things have leaked out. One, the Flesh album, if you are up on what that is, was an instrumental project. Prince and some of the members of the Revolution, Sheila E. and whatnot. That has finally leaked out to the masses. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah, I've heard it,
Right.
heard about it at least.
Yeah, I mean, I will say when I first heard it, in my mind, I thought it was going to be something else, and it wasn't exactly what I anticipated it to be. But I will say that junk music, that is the truth. Like
Oh,
I,
I've always loved that.
that's for 19 minutes of banging.
Yeah.
That's
Now, is that what we'll say Big Sexy provided means to listen to on Saturday, Sunday? Is that what you're talking about?
To be honest, I don't know. I will admit that I actually had this for like a couple of months.
Well,
And,
oh, it was. I think it was titled "Blast from the Past 2.0." That's
no,
me.
that's not different. That's another one we'll talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Flash. So let's go into that. So that one also dropped. That was I guess a bootleg compilation type set, and it had a lot of previously unreleased songs on that one as well. And that one, to me, if you had never heard that stuff, to me that would be a headbuster release. Like there's a lot of cool tracks on that one.
That Black Sweat and Lolita. Whew, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, and he dated all the way back to what 80 had some 86 tracks, 1986 up to now 2014 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still holding firm for a clean hallway teach computer blue 12-minute version. Until then, all unreleased tracks get a yawn for me until I get that.
Yawn, man, you crazy. All right.
Well, let me just say this: the hallway version that I have isn't that clean. So if if someone has a cleaner version than I have, holla at your boy.
All right. What'd you think about? And you already. Any other songs that stood out for you?
You know, I haven't had a chance to really delve into it. I downloaded it and did whatever, and I've listened to it, but I really haven't had a chance to go. That's my cut right there. A lot of the ones that I listened to was stuff I already knew. Moonbee Levels, that was good to have, that's a lot cleaner than the version that I had. There's one more, and I cannot remember the name of it right now. That I was like, oh, that's tight. But I haven't, like I said, really hadn't had a chance to really get into it like I'd like to.
All right. Yeah, they had. Well, one of my cuts was "Don't Let 'Em Fool You." that was on there.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, we actually, for those all access members, we talked about this song. I don't know, last month, a couple months ago. So now you can actually get to hear that. What else is on there? Around the World in a Day. That was new to me. That version.
I've heard that version before.
It didn't sound like that though. I think the one that was out before, there is actually some different instrumentations added, but this one is just stripped down. It's the same music as the album version. It's just that it's extended.
Okay, I have to go back and double listen to that one again because if it's like the album version and extended, that's not a yawner.
Yeah, no, it's just a good one. What else is coming out? I'm seeing today that another one of my jams is leaked out today. "Kiss Me Quick." If you haven't heard that one, again, all access members, we play that one on one of High Heel Boots a little while ago. That song is a burner. I think it's from 1980, I want to say. 80, 81 maybe. It sounds kind of like something from the second album, kind of real kind of disco funk vibe to it. I don't know if you guys have heard that one yet, but
No, I haven't heard that one.
that one, yeah, check that out. I'll make sure you get that. So yeah, there's a lot of Prince stuff coming out. It's crazy, very, very, very crazy. All right, let's get into things here. Battle of the Bands. So on one side we have the Revolution. The other side we have the Sign of the Times, Lovesexy. Now, the Revolution that we're talking about, I want to say it is the revolution that starts pretty much from Purple Rain to Around the World in a Day. We're calling the Prince and the Revolution from the Parade album Counter Revolution. Is that right, Ant?
That's right.
And the addition there would be, I'm trying to think, the actual really own musician difference would be Miko, if I'm not mistaken. And Eric Leeds, I'm sorry.
Eric Leeds
And the horns, yeah.
Yeah.
But one could argue that Eric Leeds and the Horn was in the Purple Rain Revolution, who they were.
But they're in the tour at
True.
the later stages. At the later
Right.
stages. I don't believe that they were official just yet.
Okay. So we're talking. Oh, go ahead.
Because we could point to weren't they still doing the Purple Rain tour when Around the World in a Day and the Raspberry Beret video dropped?
No, I don't think so.
No, they had finished it, but he was debuting that material during the tour, but it hadn't officially dropped yet because he was doing.
Go ahead.
Well, he was doing Temptation. I think he did Raspberry Beret a couple of dates. He did. I want to say he did a little bit of America. So he was peppering the Purple Rain show.
Couldn't see it, sir.
The person.
Just as you got cleared, you pulled it away.
Here, I was just giving a shout. I don't know if that's gonna even show up properly.
Okay, we can see it.
Happy birthday to you. My bad. Go ahead.
Don't get in trouble, Mike.
Oh, we all family.
But yeah. So yeah. So the material was being peppered. Just pretty much like he has done throughout his touring career. He'll give you a little hint of what's coming next. So, but I do have a couple of instances where he did Raspberry Beret. Like I said, I want to say he was doing a little bit of America during the Baby I'm a Star jams, sessions towards the end of the tour. So,
all right.
Well, the reason I brought that up is that is that even though he had brought the horns onto the tour, when it came time for the new album and the new video, it was the Revolution, just the Revolution that we saw from Purple Rain.
Yep. All right, so we got that Revolution, and then we understand Sign of the Times, Lovesexy band. So I think what we were talking about doing is let's sort of compare the musicians to the parts, kind of work our way through this whole thing. So let's start with the Revolution. We've got Bobby Z, right? Dr. Fink, Lisa and Wendy, and Brown Mark. Going back on let's see. Do we want to maybe just kind of speak about each band first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me start. I'll start then. So the Revolution. As I think more about this band and versus the other ones, I'm starting to realize that to me the Revolution was like the jam band for Prince. It was like, I think they're his tightest rehearsed band, and to me they played his music at the time of his career where it was like it had to be played just like the records but better, and he wasn't in a position to be like throwing in all these different musical ideas. So it's like, take what I do and we're going to play it harder and better than anybody in any other band and play it different. And at the same point, they are, in my opinion, are having to compete against the time. Maybe not necessarily on the Purple Rain tours, but going through all that how you get to that band, they had to be like, okay, we're gonna play after the time, who are killing it, so we got to be tight. Like we have to be on point because they're just playing nothing but the jams. Period. They're not really doing no slow cuts. They do one. It's just a party the whole way. They'll blow us out if we don't come correct. So when I think of Purple Rain, I think of a band that one, everybody has their own personality for the most part, and they're at the palm of Prince's hand, and they just play a very hard-driven type of stuff. I'll go into different people later, but I just kind of want to start with that. And Pooh, what do you think about the Revolution?
Revolution, and I guess I'm gonna get a little sidetracked, but I was kind of a little resentful for Prince at the moment because I saw here's this black man with this band that only had one brother in there, and the brother didn't even talk and just had no rhythm whatsoever.
Who are you talking about?
Talk about Brown Mark.
Oh man, yeah.
Come on, that brother had no rhythm. He had no rhythm.
Man, he's right. He has no lines in Purple Rain. He's the only band member that does not talk in Purple Rain.
But the thing is like I didn't have that big of an appreciation. There was I guess the mythology. It might be the best way to explain it. With Wendy and Lisa, are they or aren't they? Is Prince getting both of them? But overall, it's like I just could not imagine. Here's a lead guitarist, a female, and she's killing it. She's doing what needed to be done with all of those songs. You don't hear anything out of place. And then you find out that, oh, by the way, she's what, 20, 21 at the time?
Mm-hmm.
To call Michael Dean, that's a head buster. Like, now again, Bobby Z, I think he's very underrated as a drummer. Everybody believes that he's just playing with Prince program. Dr. Fink is Dr. Fink. I mean, come on, you don't last that long with him. And together, they were able to bring Purple Rain with all of that nuanced song, all of that, really, in my opinion, ahead of the time, to a live format and like not miss a beat. And in some cases, improve upon what we heard in the movie. So that cannot be discounted with that band, despite what we think they're not capable to other people, and despite their lack of melanoid and their abundance of estrogen.
All right.
Be honest, that's how some people see. How is Prince jamming with this mostly white band and these women? Those women don't belong up there, but they're killing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sean, and before we go to Sean, shout out to Raka, shout out to Gregory. We see you in the comments over there. But Sean, what's your thoughts on Revolution?
Woo! Okay, this is really a tough one because part of the Revolution's mystique is, I think, rooted in nostalgia. I think. Take away the movie, and Mike said that they became entities of themselves, but I think they became entities of themselves because of the movie. So I think the tour basically expounded on that. You had Wendy and Lisa, as Ampu said, are they, aren't they, kind of thing. Each band member brought their own thing, but I think a lot of times we as fans, we want to see the Revolution back together, basically because of nostalgia, because that's when Prince was at his peak. That was the apex. That was the plateau. That was the highest, commercially at least, for him. So I'm not taking anything away from them. I mean, I would love to see them back together again. Not to hear them play, but just to see them all on stage together, since I didn't get to experience that way back when. A lot of their playing, a lot of their arrangements, for me at least, I don't go back and revisit the Purple Rain tour in audio and video form. I don't really find it that interesting. Now, whereas the Sign of the Times, I'll watch that movie once a month, and I'll watch the Lovesexy tour as much as I can. But the Purple Rain, maybe it was just because of the arrangements, and as Mike said, Prince wasn't being as daring with the tour as he would with later albums. He was more sticking to what he thought the newfound fans wanted, and wouldn't take chances. But of course we'll break down each band, but I'm not as keen as most Prince fans are. And again, it's just because I think it's more on nostalgia than anything else.
All right. I mean, you know, the thing too, this is something I did recently. I went through and because I'm like you, I actually don't listen to a lot of Purple Rain concert material. But I do remember I used to have the Purple Rain live home video. That was a hit.
Yep, yep, yep,
Um,
yep.
but of course, when you get into Sign of the Times, even when you get into Parade for that matter,
Yeah.
um, things seem to elevate up. But here's the one thing that I did recently. I went back and listened to June 7th, 1984, which was
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is a certified banger concert. You know, that is like one of the things. Like somebody says, okay, what is the revolution about? I'm gonna play that. Just as if there was somebody said, well, what is the Lovesexy band? There's a couple of concerts that you can play that this is their stamp. But as I listened to that concert, the '84 one, to me they were so raw. Like it was so funky. Like it changed my whole viewpoint on them. Like everything was on point. No, they are not doing, you know, some of the jazz things or, you know, incorporating other little elements into the songs to kind of make you like, wow, that's cool. Like, wow, you know, horn break or something. They was just playing the goddamn songs the way they're supposed to be played. And I was blown away. And I've listened to this many times. I hadn't heard it in a while. And a couple of songs I played them twice. And I'm just like, do you hear Mark Brown on this or Brown Mark? This boy is ridiculous. And I shortchanged him before. I don't even have to speak on.
everybody does.
Yeah, I don't have to speak on Wendy. Ridiculous. And that was her first show. But what I was saying is that to me, I really started to see the strength of the revolution. And you know, even though we're not going to count it, when I look at that and I look at okay, when they go into Around the World in a Day and the other album, you know, you look at that America performance that they have, the video. Yeah, they do have a horn players up there, but it's still the same core band. I'm like, God damn, I can see the transition and I can see how they've gotten so much even more better. They're incredible. Um, I'm trying to think of are there things on record that we could say that they contributed to, and of course we can all sit here and say, yeah, Wendy and Lisa, Sign of Times are all over that. A lot of tracks and tracks that aren't released. So so I'm thinking in terms of that band. I mean, what they brought to Prince are things that I think are always with Prince ever since then. Like their stamp is, I would argue their stamp is on everything going forward. Now you can say that's Prince's stamp, but the stuff that they did, it set the bar for everything.
Yeah,
Well,
I go ahead, Ann.
oh, you were talking about do we know what they contributed to records? It's stated that Let's Go Crazy, Purple Rain, I Would Die for You, Baby I'm a Star from Purple Rain was from that first ever recording. So there we go. That
Right.
tells you the quality of that live performance that Prince said, well, damn, I don't need to go back at the studio. Let's start from that point. And that's some of his most iconic songs.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is there is that debate, the Wendy and Lisa influence that I even talked about that when we did the Collective Lecture review. I don't think that Prince's music was once Wendy and Lisa left, his music wasn't as quirky, and that's probably not the best word, but that's the word I'm going to use, as it was when they were with him. If you listen to those 85, 86 demo cuts from various tracks, they're all over that, and his music was never the same since then. That for me, that's gonna always be my favorite era, not necessarily just because of Wendy and Lisa, but because they were working so cohesively as a unit. He trusted them to bring him sounds that he hadn't done before, hadn't tried before. The Strange Relationship demo, I like it better than what he ended up putting on Sign of the Times. There's the Witness for the Prosecution. Their take on what they did to it, I thought was better than what Prince did to it. So their influence cannot be underestimated at all. Even with songs like now off of Plectrum Electrum, there's a couple that you can hear. I think it's Ain't Turning Around. I think that kind of has a Wendy Lisa vibe to it. And the other Whitecaps, I think that kind of has a Wendy Lisa vibe to it. So, yeah, I don't underestimate they're still working together as a unit. So that should also tell you they definitely got talent. They definitely got the chops. So.
Yeah, the thing about the Wendy and Lisa influence, and I wasn't there, but I will admit, like you, yeah, I think their influence is there. But I think too, you could look at all throughout Prince's thing, and he is influenced by the people he's around. I mean, right now, for better or for worse, he is highly influenced, probably more so than anybody, by Joshua Welton, to the point where he puts his name as a producer, written and arranged. And even says on an interview, like, I ain't even play some of this stuff, which he never said that with Wendy and Lisa. I think he's always been influences the music better than it's arguable. Of course, I say it is. But I think, like, when you also, true though, I think that you hear Prince taking, like, okay, I have these two remarkable people with me. I want them to do sort of like, this is what I want them. I think, like, their whole that harmony that we think of Wendy and Lisa, I think that's more so Prince having them, hey, I want to use your voice like this. And the only reason I say that is because if a lot of times if you just go listen to their albums, to me personally, I think they're he's more influencing on them, on the things that they did on their first record and even on their second record. And I think they were more influenced by his sound coming into their talents, which is still fine, but I don't think, and that's why when I listen to like a Strange Relationship, I do like both versions. But to me, the version that Prince put out, that was that Prince funk stuff that I don't think they possess. And it's not a bad thing. It's just they don't have, that's what I like. Like, that harkens back to the Controversy album, that style of funk. So I think their influence is there. Yes. Let's jump around. We're going to jump around a lot, but let's go to Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times.
I will say this, they have the great advantage of they are like the opposite. They get to come after the groundwork has been laid and say, well, we're going to take everything that you've known and we're going to flip it. And we can do the tricks and we can flip it and we're going to add this little element to it. We're going to add this element. We got a real drummer, and it's not a shot to.
That's not a shot.
No. I'm saying this because he's not playing like Sheila E's playing. She's actually playing the songs. I'm going to say this. Bobby Z, right?
Yeah.
I think he's more talented. And I say that because he was triggering all these drum machines, shit that was unheard of. They're trying new stuff, and he had this shit sounding like the record, and the record was drum programmed. So he's playing the drum machine plus playing on top. That's a skill. To me, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Sheila E should just proficient that she can actually really play all that stuff, and she was doing. They had some sounds triggered on pads, but all the concerts was being played like that versus with her. Maybe they may do one song drum machine and she'll play a little bit of it, or then she just might play. But they were just different. So I think she was a better percussionist, sort of actual drummer, but I don't necessarily think she was more talented old boy because what he was doing was some magic shit. He was doing wild genius that Prince was doing in the studio. He's translating it on stage. But Sheila E, she's a star. She comes in, that bringing something to it. We're excited to see that. The horns, Eric Lee, Alana Bliss. Again, I have to fight myself to say that they was kind of already there, but now they're even more to the forefront. Miko is back again. The Good Doctor, when we didn't really touch on him before, but let's say Dr. Fink is he is the backbone of all of this because he's been with all them bands and continued on even after that. He's there again, and he was there from the beginning. So he's the man.
Oh, Survivor.
Yeah, he held it down. He got to do his head solo and kill that every night. You bring in Levi. It's another bass player. You're bringing in Levi, Bonnie Boyer. So he's bringing another a sort of a quote unquote real singer voice, right? To accent what's going on. She's playing keyboards. Did I forget anybody else?
Cat and the Bodyguards.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the musicians, but yeah, they're definitely there dancing. Again, the Bodyguards had already been there, minus Jerome, so he brings in the female. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the musicians, they're all probably a couple of them are very much more accomplished musicians than people in the Revolution at that point, and it probably matches where Prince was going musically. Like he is transcending where he came from, and he's trying all these new things. And these guys are probably a lot more adapt to. We're gonna hit the stage and we're gonna play some Mahalia Jackson tonight. You ready? Whereas you would have probably said that to some people in the Revolution. They'd be like, "Can we rehearse it first?" In my opinion, well, you can just boom. So, Sign Times Band, ridiculous. I'm gonna let you guys speak on it more in depth, but Ampu. So, what are your thoughts on Sign Times Lovesexy Band?
At the time when there was the transition from the Sans Revolution, I didn't know what was going on. All I know was is 1 year in '86 there was Prince with Wendy doing Kiss. Then I saw the end of Under the Cherry Moon, and there's this full band. I'm like, who the hell are these other black folk up in here? And then the next thing I know, because remember, I'm young in this. I'm still in elementary school. I'm not understanding all this stuff. The next thing I know, I see this distorted, cream-colored video, and it's this hot chick in the short mini skirt, and I'm like, oh shit, there's Sheila E. What the hell is Sheila E. doing with Prince? And then You Got the Look video, and I'm like, okay, where's everybody I know? And then it took a while to be like, oh, Prince ain't with the Revolution anymore. And I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. But when where I got to accepting them was the MTV performance. And there's Prince out there with this little girl again, Kat. Oh my God! I mean, I understand you saying I'm musicianship, but Kat brought something fresh to Prince that was much needed and that really helped his stage performance. First of all, she brought him some dance moves, because, bro, man, I mean, he can move, but she gave him some dance routines. But when they went into Playing the Sunshine, because Sign of the Times was essentially a one-man performance, but when he got into Sign of the Times, the way he played off of them, he had all this energy. I don't know, maybe it's because of the tension, because he ain't smashing his lead guitarist sister no more, whatever.
Wow.
But he just felt excited, like he had some dope music. He had these musicians that was just killing it on stage. They were playing with them. They were all just raw, fresh, and most importantly, hungry to prove not only can we do what the Revolution can do, but he ain't gonna miss a beat and feel this new music. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to see this band again till, well, I would say 2008, when I was able to, yes, I know, 2008, when I was able to download some of those shows from the Lovesexy tour, but they killed it. We go into more depth, but just overall, there's a reason why this band is revered as one of Prince's greatest ever, and they lived up to the hype.
All right, Ampu.
No, me. You always get us mixed up.
Sean, go
no, this is almost an unfair challenge. It's almost like JV versus college. I think the Lovesexy Sign Times band is arguably probably his best band. I'll save who I think is the best band for another time. But you got all of these accomplished players, and again, I'm not trying to downgrade the Revolution by any stretch of the imagination, but I think, Mike, you hit on it best. These folks could play. That's when the after shows started. that's when, hey, we go play a 2.5 hour Sign of the Times show, and then we're gonna go to a small club, no pun intended, and we go play another 2 hours. We're gonna play I'll Take You There. We're gonna play Love and Happiness. We're gonna play Kansas City. We're gonna play this. The Revolution would have been like, can we get some sheet music for this? These guys and ladies could do it and could put it down. Drumming with Bobby versus Sheila. Again, Mike, you said it best. It's almost, again, not fair. Bobby had a lot of programming stuff that he had to tend to, where Sheila was just, okay, what's the song? Okay, let's play it out. We're gonna do it. I think for me, I don't know. I just think for me that band, the Sign of Times band, is the apex for me as far as their ability, their playing style. They didn't get the personalities because unfortunately, they didn't have a movie. They did, but not like Purple Rain. So we didn't get to know them as people like we did the Revolution band. But yeah, so that's my take on that particular band. Awesome.
All right, let's kind of just go down some of the actual individual musicians. So we already talked about pretty much Sheila versus Bobby.
Can I chime in on that Sheila versus Bobby?
Yeah.
This is gonna be saved for an argument when we talk about the succeeding band from the Revolution, the Counter Revolution. But I gotta bring up, and if it's gonna be a comparison, I gotta go ahead and say, Bobby Z. There's a audio of one of his pre-tour shows Prince did, and Bobby Z did the Alexa to Paris drumming live, and I know that's technically a different band, but I think like it's a little closer than we think, because I thought that was Sheila till I believe it was you, Michael, then corrected me and said, nah, that's Bobby Z on the drum, and I'm like, if Bobby Z, and we've all heard Alexa to Paris, that's a very complex and just heavy.
I think it's Sheila on the record.
No, I'm talking about the live performance. He did it live.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, Bobby did it live. Yeah.
You hear that song and all that drumming going on, and our assumption is that's Sheila. I don't know if it's live. I don't know if that's all her or programming. That's Sheila. And then you see this rehearsal that he did, and it's Bobby Z doing the drum, and he didn't miss a beat. He did that. Did that live. So it's not that big of a blowout. If we're gonna count that, it's not that big of a blowout between Bobby Z and Sheila E.
Now I agree with you. Can we do this? I know that we have said that there's this counter revolution, but I personally don't. I want to do away with that because in its core, it's the same band. The only difference is they have Miko, and you have Eric Leeds and Lana Bliss, but I mean, they're both bands. So you know what I mean? Because to me, that's the revolution. That parade tour, that's still the revolution. They just a lot better. Again, added a couple elements. Only added one extra guitars and some horns. So that's me. But I'm saying this, man. Like, I'm backing up what you said. Yeah, Bobby Z's a bad motherfucker, man. Like, if he was fine. He would still be in the band. That's my opinion.
Oh, so you don't think it was all Sheila's talents? What you tell?
I'm not saying she's not talented, but I'm just saying obviously she's a girlfriend of Princess. She's fine, and she can play, so she gonna win.
According to her fiance, but I ain't saying nothing.
Hey,
I'm just gonna go over here and sip on this drink.
There you go. Sip on that tea. Here's the trump card for me, and I hate to compare movies or the movie to the tour, but Sheila E's drum solo in Sign of the Times blows away anything I've ever seen Bobby do.
In terms of his drumming, I would agree with you, but you don't play a solo in the song.
That's right. That was going to be my argument. I guess that could be an indictment that he didn't feel he was worthy of a drum solo, or
she was a star too.
Yeah. So
and none of the Revolution took solos. They never did that.
Well,
exactly.
Well, actually, Wendy got the solo at the beginning of Purple Rain. she got a lengthy solo.
Well,
Before it went
that's
to,
only because
yeah.
that's only because Prince was changing clothes during
It was
that.
like
So,
getting to a band spotlight and everybody
but,
got to do their thing. You know what I mean? Well, let's go to Wendy. Wendy versus I guess Miko. And I'm just gonna say Miko's bad. Like Miko is a bad dude, man. Like his chicken scratch is ridiculous. But excuse me, Wendy is pound for pound one of the best things that ever happened to Prince, in my opinion. And that girl came on the scene, laid it down smooth. First of all, when you just look at it, you be like, "Ah, this white girl ain't no way she gonna follow Dez, Prince, and these cats, the Colt and Jesse's, and be up there slime." But no, she does, and she does it well. And she got the style, and she just got that whole badassery type of thing. Like she was incredible. I personally, if it was my perfect world, she would have went off and been the white girl superstar that carried the game after that. And she would have been a guitarist. A whole thing would have been out of the ballpark. But I think she's far blows out Miko, which I think is dope.
What?
Wendy,
woo!
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, now that to me, I've been saying that's the matchup that ain't close in my eyes. I will give Wendy a point because that is her doing that chicken down for Irresistible Bitch on the Syracuse show. Yeah, I would. That's killer. But other than that, Wendy gets a yawn from me.
Wow.
She gets a yawn from me. I mean, she look good. She look good. But she gets a yawn from me. She gets a yawn from me. It's no comparison between her and Miko. It's not. Miko does it all, and he can do Little Red Corvette. He can do the blues stuff. He can do the R&B. Come on, no, it's Miko. Miko.
I got a side with Parade Show, San Francisco. Listen to Miko that controversy riff. He even stops the show and says, "Miko, give me controversy all along." And he kills it. Now he didn't say, "Wendy, give me controversy all along." He says, "Miko, give me controversy all along." Mike, if you haven't heard that, I'm sure you haven't. Okay, all right. For me, again, trump card. That's the trump card. And let me add another one.
That blows out
It's
all
the same era.
We got big six in the house.
Well, go ahead, Sean.
Another trump card for me, and it's not from the same era, but Miko playing "Do Me Baby" on the new tour.
Yeah, that was dope.
Woo! I just can't. I don't see Wendy doing that. That's just me. That's just me. So I gotta go with Miko. Not by much. But again, I just have to separate the nostalgia because again, I'm feeling a lot of the love for the Revolution has more to do with nostalgia than talent. Not saying the band isn't talented, but for me, just for me, my opinion, Mike, is that a lot of the love is for nostalgia.
Okay.
So I'm trying to be objective.
Big Sexy, are you there? Can you hear us? It's like he's still muted or something. All right. Let's go to.
Before we go, there's one more notch for Miko. In the bootleg for I believe it's 1986, Week in Funk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was gonna use that one too.
Prince don't say Wendy. He says Miko.
That's cool. All right, so let's keep going though. So keyboards. Let's go. Dr. Fink. Actually, he's on both bands, so we can't versus him. Brown Mark, Levi. Go ahead, Ampool. I'll let you start.
Yeah, I don't even know why you started with me because you know how I feel about Brown Mark. I'm sorry. I know the brother. It's like the brother makes it look too easy. That's what that's the only thing I can say. He makes what he's doing too easy that I just look over him. Maybe it's the fact that he was in that period where he was the only brother with the predominantly all white backing band. So it's like he didn't stand out to me, which I guess that's kind of weird because you think he would, but he just did it. And I know he's carrying a lot of those funky bass lines for a lot of the live stuff. That's him on Let's Go Crazy. That's him on Purple Rain. That's him on I Would Die for You. And Baby I'm a Star. However, damn it, that we talking about Levi Searcy Jr. Come on, man. All you have to do is look at Sign of the Times, the movie, where they do that breakdown, and here he comes out, boom, 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 boom. He shuts it down. He's
just plucking. He's just plucking.
Damn it, I don't care. Okay. I ain't seen Brown Mark do that.
Whoa.
Solo.
Yeah, you have. I'm gonna give you an example.
Go ahead.
Again. London, Miss You, 86 Parade Tour, London. Ron Wood, Sting on the stage, and Prince says, Brown Mark, let me hit a bass. And the bass is sloppy. The bass is sloppy. Now, go over to Levi on the Science movie. I'll take away the solo. Listen to that bass on a File Friend, and I know it's just basically.
On what song you cut out?
Oh, I'm sorry. If I Was Your Girlfriend, in the movie, and I know it's basically just two notes, but, bow, bow. I mean that is just. All tight right. To me. He stays with it the entire time. So again, Levi for me, no contest.
Let me speak up for my man Mark Brown. So first of all, I want you to go. You got to look at the Syracuse. Is that Baby I'm a Star? They do the very extended thing and they break down that bass drops in. You know what I'm talking about, Sean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I have not heard Levi do nothing like that. If you go back and listen to June 7th, 1984. That bass and all the shit that not Levi, but Brown Mark is not just a bump, but I'm talking about that, like you said, that sloppy, extended, bottom down, where it's just, I mean, that's Mark Brown. You listen to any concert on the Purple Rain and the Parade, Mark is a beast. He's not doing the but he is doing the bass. You listen to Mountains, the record, and the extended version, and when they get toward the last break, when they start going raw with it, Mark is ridiculous. That stuff is nasty. So listen. I hear my man Levi. I think he is dope. To me, a lot of things you brought up is just when he's just bringing the bass, but he wasn't like slopping them jams, and they never really rode his bass playing. He played what the record did, but he didn't just go. To me, a lot of the Brown Mark stuff, he goes beyond what the record is. When you listen to When Doves Cry live, because it wasn't the bass in the record.
I give you that. That solo, yeah, the solo at the yeah, I give you that. But I do like that. I do like that. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
Built their back on that type of stuff. When you hear them live, that stuff is. That's why I say if you go back and listen again, because I was all ready to say Lovesexy, but some of the stuff, I have to admit, it's not nostalgia. Revolution was code. Now they may have been more harshly rehearsed to be that way, but with what they did, that stuff was ridiculous. But anyway, that's Brown Mark. So you guys got Levi. Said Brown Mark.
No. Yeah, I got Levi.
I got Levi too.
All right.
And don't forget. And like I said, don't forget, Brown Mark didn't have any lines in Purple Rain. There's the trump card.
That's true.
Now, one mark I will give that might help Brown Mark is that Prince didn't fire him. He left. So there might not have been a Levi on Lovesexy if Brown Mark hadn't left.
Levi was playing guitars for Sheila first, so he was a guitar dude.
Yeah. So I mean that's a half a point for Brown Mark.
All right.
If he hadn't left, there wouldn't have been no Levi. But I gotta go with Levi.
All right. Let's go to Lisa. I guess you would have to say Lisa versus Bonnie.
Lisa.
There we go. Big sexy. Let's
Big
bounce back a
sexy.
little bit, sir. Real quickly, can you give us your decision between Brown Mark and Levi on bass?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a close call, but let me go on the record as saying Sonny T puts them both to sleep. But
I can get with that.
going with Brown Mark has the solid foundation. You know, he's got a little bit of a rock vibe to him. Levi's got also a solid foundation, a little more virtuosity. But for me, and it's only a smidgen, I got to go with Brown Mark because Prince is quoted in Rolling Stone as saying Brown Mark is the best bass player I know. Period. I got to go with that. And and I agree with Sean. Had Brown Mark not left, he'd still be there.
Well,
All right.
And don't
I
slip
mean,
on Eda. Eda's bad too. Y'all need to give Eda some depth. She can play.
we ain't there yet though. But
All right.
Also, let's get your take on Wendy versus Miko.
Miko. What? Why are we even having that discussion? Miko is, I'm not going to rip Miko too much, but the guy, Miko, brother, you are just second string. You know it. I know it. The world knows it. It is Wendy all day. You know it. I know it.
look, hey,
What
big
has Miko
sexy.
done? What has Miko done since leaving the camp?
See, we ain't
Nothing.
talking about that. We talking about
shows his
the
lack.
band. We're
Exactly.
talking about the band.
He doesn't
band.
create anything. He's just there. Let me play this one riff. The guy didn't really step forward and distinguish himself, other than having good hair and graffiti brick. That's all he had going for him.
All right. That's it. That's
Man, can we kick him out? Because he's coming in with this bull.
Yeah, we gotta keep it moving. All right, so we're back now. We're at Lisa versus Bonnie Boyer. Now they're both keyboard players per se, right? One is doing a little different things, but let's go to Ampu. What do you think?
I don't think this is a contest. Now, clearly Bonnie must have some skills to be playing keys for Prince. I'm going to say that. Clearly she does. But Wendy is classically trained. Lisa is classically trained. Lisa had her own solo at the end of that Another Lover Holding Your Head with that lengthy piano solo. Kills it. Now, if it's overall, I would go with Bonnie because Bonnie. Bonnie. He gave Bonnie Chain of Fools, which to me is better than Aretha's. I know y'all gonna lose your mind, but I think Bonnie's Chain of Fools is better than Aretha's. If it's overall, it's Bonnie. If it's just strictly playing her position and the keyboards, gotta go with Lisa. Lisa kills it.
We're not talking singing. We're talking playing the position, and Lisa all day.
Whoa.
All day long. Bonnie, rest in peace, baby. I know she's no longer with us,
Yeah.
and she was a very, very, accomplished singer. She did not compete well with, oh my God, who came after Bonnie?
Rosie.
Thank you. She couldn't hang with Rosie, but Bonnie was very good. But as strictly musicianship-wise, come on, man. You said it yourself. Lisa is classically trained. I think we're done here. And she helped create a lot of what was done. She had a hand in the creative process. Bonnie, and this is not a burn on Bonnie or anybody who's played with Prince, but Bonnie was just there to reproduce what he told her to play. She didn't really bring anything to it other than those great vocals. You take the vocals away, she's marginal at best on the keyboards.
All right, Sean Hill, what you think?
I think I agree with everyone. I think it's easily Lisa. I mean, I know I've used the Silent Times movie as my point of reference, but with the exception of her piano playing at the beginning of I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man, there isn't anything for me that stands out for Bonnie other than singing. I'm just talking about playing. That stands out for me. So it's got to be Lisa. I mean, Prince, he was with her since, 80? He trusted her in the studio. He trusted her to do a lot of the stuff on the Dream Factory along with Wendy. So definitely Lisa all the way. No contest.
All right. Well, he's a liar and a cheat.
Not talking about singing.
As a singer, I think she would have been great. I don't think she was utilized as much as she should have been. As a musician, she was. She would, hey, I can show you what to do. This is no diss. As I can show Tony what to do to stand there and strum, or maybe Joshua or something like, here, just play this. Like, not gonna stand out on it, but she can do the job. But I think she was more so should have been a vocalist, which I think is where she excels. So I easily say Lisa all day, like not even a question. Did you get you? I had you start first, right, Ant?
Yes, I did.
So let's go on to the next one. You can't really compare Eric Leeds to Eric Leeds.
Eddie Minifield or Eddie M. But wasn't he Counter Revolution though?
I don't think how many shows did he. I mean, came out at the. I know he came out toward the end of Purple Rain tour, but he was mainly with Sheila.
Yeah, and he couldn't hang with Eric anyway. But I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the I Would Die for You 12-inch.
Yeah, I think he plays on that on the tour. Like he came out for those last couple of songs.
Yeah.
Do we even want to ask Big Sexy about Sheila and Bobby Z?
Oh please, come on.
Well, you have.
I mean, it's like Lisa. I mean, it's not as drastic, but it's like Lisa and Bonnie. Sheila E. can do anything on the drums. Anything. Bobby does, the one thing he does it very well, which is reproduce what Prince has told him to play in the studio. I don't know how much studio involvement Bobby had, and this is not a burn on anybody, Prince went to Sheila and said, I want you. And he already had Bobby for X years. And, Sheila went from percussion to going back behind the kick and can still play better than 98% of the people out there. That's hands down, man. Come on now. Now, granted, my favorite is Michael Bland, but, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about these two.
All right. So I think that is all of the sort of comparisons all together.
So you want to talk tour and live performances?
Yeah, and I just say mine real quick because I kind of already said it. Personally, I think it's a preference, and I think it's in context. If I take it in context of the time, the Lovesexy Sign of Times band takes it to another level. They take it musically to another level. The musicians are better. More seasoned musicians have a bigger sort of thing to pull from. But if I just look at it on a 2004 lens, and I listen to both of them together, the Revolution, to me, sound more like the Hungry Cats, that they don't know all the rules. They don't know all the chord, how to read shit. They just play it like, this is how we gonna play it. Like, we haven't been in the game that long. We haven't been switched over yet. Versus the other band, they've been. To me, it's like when I look at the newer groups like Renato and some of those dudes. Those dudes are probably way better musicians than a lot of the people Prince has ever had. Like, those are dope ass studio musicians or touring musicians that have played with the best and can play damn near anything. But are they dirty? Are they sloppy? Are they raw? No. And I think that, to me, I don't know if I'm jumping again, but to me, Prince's music, at least in that, was raw. It was sloppy. And it was whatever, the first take, that shit was banging. I think that's what he made. Put it down. And I think, I think Revolution captures that exactly. I think the Lovesexy band was, I'm gonna take some of the dopest musicians that I can get around right now. They're gonna take my shit to the next level, and they're gonna play it a certain way, which is hella dope. Don't get me wrong, it was incredible. But I don't think that they actually. Here's the last thing I'll say. I'll stop this and say this: with all the after shows and all that shit that you have, and I listened to some Purple Rain live shows in the band. To me, the jamming and the fierceness and the hardcoreness of the Purple Rain stuff sort of blows out the water of the Sign of the Times Lovesexy stuff. It is played better on the Sign of the Time Lovesexy stuff, and they're doing a lot more different musical ideas and throwing it in there. But in terms of just the shit was filthy like that. Baby, I'm a Star. And that shit just banging and break it down. That other band ain't doing it. The Lovesexy, they ain't doing it.
So real quick, are we officially merging the revolution and counter-revolution for this debate?
I personally say you should, but
Yes.
yeah, I think you have to, man.
Well, if that is the case, this is going to get a lot tighter than it should.
Okay.
Because that parade tour, their performances, is fucking ridiculous. Me personally, I did not like the Purple Rain tour. I like Baby I'm a Star. There's one I think he did in Atlanta that was just, they showed it on VH1, I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago, VH1 hits or classic. And I was like, God damn, I've never seen that one before. Of course, there's the Baby I'm a Star on for the American Music Awards. They did Purple Rain on the Grammys, and that was a damn near recreation of the First Avenue tape. Then, oh, by the way, there's the First Avenue, which has one of the greatest ballads that he's never put to wax, Electric Intercourse, which is ridiculous. But when I saw the parade tour, that the birthday show, the Stockholm show, the Paris show, which they recorded, is going to be a beautiful night. They are killing it. That parade tour, it might be blasphemous to say, but it might. I might not believe it. It might be better than the Lovesexy tour.
Oh, flag on the play. No,
I said might.
You went too far with that one. Went too far.
Well, let me almost co-sign just a little bit here. I will give you the trifecta for the Counter Revolution, and this is coming from the Detroit '86 show. Soft and Wet, I Want to Be Your Lover.
I have to step
and
up for
Head.
that, guys.
Go ahead, Sean.
Soft and Wet, I Want to Be Your Lover, and Head. That's the trifecta right there. Those three songs, back to back, I guess, are the best thing that the Revolution and the Counter Revolution has ever did live. Period. End of story. Shut it down. Drop the mic. Burn it. All that good stuff.
All right. Lovesexy, the Lovesexy Sign of the Times band, to me, like one of the watermarks for them is like Small Club.
Yes.
It is the Sign of the Times. I'm not even going to say the album, but the actual concert where that audio was taken from. They were raw. I mean, they were incredible. Like I said, and that's when you start introducing covers and doing different other people's material and the stuff. I mean, to me, again, I think that band is essentially put together so they can do these after shows, so that he can play. Because I think Prince just wants to really play. He wants to continue to play. Yeah, we're gonna have a dope band and do this show, but I want to do more than the show. I want to go jam out for an hour and 2 hours after the show. And I don't think that the Revolution at that point per se, all of them were ready to do that.
No.
And again, I think he's dealing with, well, I've been with the Revolution. The other part of it, I think, too, is I've been with the Revolution all these years. I want to do something new. And this is Prince, and he just changes it all up. So I think it's a great way. Hey, I'm going to just change the whole band up, or some other people in the band, for the most part. So I just think, personally, I'm going to say, the Revolution, to me, what shows did you bring up, Aunt Pooh, that you said that you thought were better?
The parade tours, the birthday,
yeah,
Stockholm.
I will co-sign 100% what you said. To me, the Revolution, and speaking in terms of the concerts and live stuff, blows out. And I said blow out. Sign of Times, Lovesexy band, in my opinion. And I'll go back to the pre-Purple Rain tour Revolution, June 7th. 1984, excuse me, my mic's tripping. That is one of the dopest. If somebody was to ask me, can you play me a live Prince album? I will pull that out, and everything else cannot exist to me. To me, that is the Prince that people know musically, and I think the band plays that music properly, and they kill it. They play songs that you never heard before. even now, some of now and then, but they blew it out. You could see what he had planned for them that didn't really happen, but they were raw. They, again, all the live stuff is from the Revolution. Even a Beautiful Night, that's the Revolution playing. It's not, they're playing based off of what they did, not what they're doing. So to me, that is his illest, dopest. To me, that is the Prince band that plays Prince's music the way it's supposed to be played. Everything else to me is like well, let me show you a cool, different take on it. But it ain't the real take, but this is a cool, different take. And I think the Lovesexy band only works in the context of you already been through the Revolution. That's my opinion. It's to me, my analogy would be kind of like when we argue about Christopher Nolan's Batman movies and the Dark Knight. To me, the Dark Knight is only dope because it flies against everything we've already seen in a superhero movie, and it showed it to us in a wholly different way. But strip away, if we didn't have it in that context, to me it would be boring. Like, I want to see some superhero shit, and I say that with this band. To me, Purple Rain Revolution and Parade Revolution, that is the watermark standard of the Prince sound. And anything after that is just a cool, different way to do. Like, oh, they added some horns. That's filthy. But again, it's supposed to be keyboards. But it's cool that they got horns. And it's filthy horns, and that's cool. But that ain't the real. But it's a cool, different way for Prince to do it because he's going into a different direction. That's my opinion.
That's an interesting point because you say playing the music like it's supposed to be played. You get to the new tour, and you have a hornless housequake, which to me is blasphemy upon blasphemy. You can't have housequake without horns. I mean that's
how it was made. Right?
Right. Exactly. So for him to even do that on that tour was like, where are the horns? You can't even say everybody shut up, listen to the band. I mean, that was a good point.
Real quick, hold on, real quick. Now I see we have Ken here. He's one of the listeners. We give him the opportunity to say something if you would like, but I think you may have muted yourself.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm just listening in.
Okay.
Digging the conversation, guys. Thanks.
Right on. All right.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard because my experience of seeing these bands perform live was, I think it was probably the Grammys with the Revolution, Syracuse, then the MTV VMAs, then Lovesexy, which blew my mind, and I said is the greatest concert I've ever seen, live or in person. Then I saw the birthday tour in Stockholm. So, and that kind of just blew my mind. Like, oh my God, I didn't know, because, like I said, the Purple Rain tour for me, it was a little lackluster. Other than Baby I'm a Star, Purple Rain, and Irresistible Bitch, I think that whole concert to me is just a little lackluster. But when I see Parade, and when him bringing those Parade songs, which to me, and this might be blasphemous, from start to finish, Parade is his best album listenable. Where you can just put it on and listen to it easily from start to finish. You don't want to. That's just my opinion. I think it's the easiest album listenable. And the way he sequenced the concert, the set list, how he gave you that feel from the movie, and then went back to his old stuff, and then close it out with Purple Rain. It's just kind of hard to. I really have them on equal footing. I guess I've been used to hearing Sign of the Times, Lovesexy is his greatest band ever, so it's hard for me to admit that the Counter Revolution is better. And I don't know if I'm ready to say the Counter Revolution is better just yet. Maybe I need some more coaxing. But you know what I mean? It's like you've been hearing. It's like you've been hearing Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback of all time. That is hard to admit. You know what? Peyton Manning may be better. Or Tom Brady.
Well, let's do this. I'm gonna put an interesting question or discussion maybe. Let's take 3 shows. Let's take Syracuse. Let's take the birthday show. Well, no, it's 4 shows. Let's take Syracuse. Let's take the birthday show parade. Let's take Dortmund, Lovesexy, and Sign of Times the movie. I know I got them out of order, but let's take those.
Do for those of us for those of you on Value, that might be a better.
Okay, well let's do that. Those 4. Which of those 4, if someone said what's the performance I should see, which one would you tell someone to see?
See as opposed to listen to, right?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Yeah, video wise. That's why I pick ones that are available in good quality video.
Well, if it was video, I would say watch Lovesexy. That is made to be a spectacle to see. You know, that show, the concert, the stage, the spectacle of that visually is incredible. It blows anything. In my opinion, it blows all of the other ones out the water.
And
Dortmund. It's hard. Dortmund.
I guess I'm gonna be the lone wolf here. I would go with Birthday Parade. That show for me is Prince as if we had never seen Prince before, having fun, being loose. Yet, yes, he doesn't play any instruments, at least not on this particular show. But I think again, just for me personally, the trifecta that I mentioned earlier is just. I would just say, here, watch these. You don't even have to watch the whole show. Watch these 3 songs right here. This is Prince on fire right here. You can even throw in Mutiny. You can even throw in Mutiny with that too.
You did though. You put a different context in it when you said that. You said in frame as you've never seen him like this before. But I think if you just said, as you earlier said, which show would you just pick?
Well, that's why I would pick Parade.
For a person who has never seen any of these shows, I think they would enjoy Lovesexy just because of the grand. To me, in the context of Parade, in terms of him being on the stage with the dudes, was totally flew against the wall of Purple Rain and the whole look and the feel, even with James Brown. But I think in terms of the spectacle of a show, I can't argue. It's just hard for me to argue against Lovesexy. Like, I mean, that's a 3-ring circus. You know, it's around. You know, it's got all this stuff going on. I mean, that was a Broadway play. To me.
I love the Lovesexy show. I mean, I would put it probably second. It would be Birthday Show, Lovesexy, for those of you on Valium, and then Syracuse.
I mean, the thing is with the Lovesexy is you get Erotic City live. I mean, I wish it were. You get him to Erotic City. You get having the Holy Spirit on Anastasia. Then you get Alphabet Street. I'm like, just those 3 performances right there is ridiculous. And then you're probably thinking like Alphabet Street. Yeah, Alphabet Street, that was a killer show closing performance.
You know, with the car coming around and stuff. I mean, that's like, whoa. But you know, and then I'm gonna let somebody else speak. But I'm gonna say, Lovesexy, and then I think the visual component of Sign of the Times at the time was like, whoa, you know, he got the neons and the whole thing. I think he just gradually he knew how to, like, I'm going to put on a damn show. Of course I can play.
Yeah.
But in terms of the showmanship of a huge concert, I think he just kept going. And then, you know, Lovesexy was the pinnacle. And at that point, it was like, well, fuck it, we can go down from that. But yeah. I think musically, Parade, well, I won't say a blow. I think the Parade show musically would be, in my opinion, either 1 or number 2. Listening to it.
I will say this too. Sign of the Times, he got Cat, and that stepped up his dance game. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Let's show some of the comments from the listeners. They're leaving some good ones here. Throw this on real quick. This is from Brandon. Says, saw a pro copy of Lovesexy Live 88 for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and it blew my mind. A definite live experience, true showmanship on a grand and epic scale. When it comes to tightness, it would be Sign of the Times and the Birthday Show 86 Detroit. All right. Let's jump over to another one here. Rockabash. Also keep in mind, Lovesexy Sign of the Times band was more, I guess, urban and more hip. Prince assembled a band that could play many styles within black music, from jazz, rhythm and blues, and gospel.
They were better at improvisation, and their after shows became the standard for subsequent bands to match that kind of musicianship. The Revolution was a band that really excelled at playing pop music. Mm. Their image and branding as pop stars really it necessary. I lost it. Oh, really excelled at playing. Okay, and then so necessary to recreate the scenes from the Purple Rain movie to saturate classical fans and critics. I don't believe them as being playing pop music. I think that they're popular, but I don't think Prince. No.
He brought up an interesting point real quick. One of my favorite parts of the Silent Times movie is during Forever My Life, and the scene where the black folks are on one side and they're all getting into it, and then all the white band members on the other side, and they're just kind of just doing the back and forth kind of thing, and the black folks are going to church. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that was what was planned, but I just love that a bit. I'm like, look at the black folks here. They get down. Then they pan over to Doc and everybody else on that side, and they're just, we're just here. We're just here. While Sheila, Cat, Levi, and everybody on the other side get down.
And Michael, there was some other feedback on the Facebook page when we posted about the show we were going to do on Saturday. Richard Rich, he says, Lovesexy. I love the Revolution, but Bobby Z can't hold a candle to Sheila E. Plus, Bonnie can sing her ass off. Also, by the time Sign of the Time and Lovesexy came out, Eric Leeds and Lana Bliss were working together like a finely tuned machine. That's echoing your sentiment. Small Club, that was a Lovesexy tour, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
He said, after listening to the small, this is James Yeatman, Yeatman, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. After listening to Small Club after show, I would give it to the Lovesexy band. They seem to have a lot of range.
I agree with that. I love Small Club. That's one of my top top four. But I'm going to argue all day that the June 7th, 1984 blows out all of them. Because, again, they're not doing the covers and they're not doing the, the little jazz parlor. They just doing the funk. They just doing that Prince funk. And Erotic City on that performance, nasty. Roadhouse Garbage. That song is crazy, man. 17 Days? Something in the Water?
Yes.
A lot of those perform, and then they do All Day, All Night on there. That's the actual.
Yeah.
That's the actual music that's on Jill Jones' record. They took the live version and just did it there. It's ridiculous.
And that's a good strike. That's a good couple of points for the Revolution. However, we can't let the blasphemy stand. Can we talk about, for those of you on Volume, Strange Relationship?
Yeah, that's a cool show. That is filthy. That is no doubt. That's one of the.
Can we talk about, for those of you on Volume, Girls and Boys?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can we talk about It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night?
But that's the Revolution.
No. That was the Lovesexy band. Lovesexy band.
Let's be clear. That's a live song that they just playing it over. But are they blowing out the album version?
Yeah. Come on. You really saying that they're not blowing out their version is not better than the album version? The Revolution is different, and sometimes I feel for hearing that album version. But come on. They kill that version live.
To me,
if they didn't cover the Revolution.
Well, say it again?
They're covering the Revolution. They wouldn't even have a version if the Revolution didn't do it. Of course, it has to be added elements to it, but the core of the song is Revolution.
To me,
it's all Prince's stuff. How about that?
Well, to me, those are two separate songs. Yes, one is as I say, cover of the other, but they're they are so diametrically opposed to one another. They're really not the same song. So I to compare them, would be to compare, I don't know, Purple Rain and Gold. I mean, it's
No,
just
I
two
mean,
different.
one is built off the back. It's the same music. One is the album version is what they just took the recording, the original recording, and Prince added some
From
vocals.
Paris. Yeah, he had some vocals, added Sheila, added a little bit more horns, and that's
Band
it.
plays it live. Now they're supposed to do it better than the record because that's what every Prince band has always done with his music. So that's what I'm saying. They didn't.
I've yet to hear a good version of Kiss. Revolution or Lovesexy. I've yet to hear a good version of Kiss.
Diamonds and Pearls on Arsenio, but that's my opinion.
What?
Well, Prince has even said that he's not proud of any live version of Kiss. He said he's never been able to get it right on stage. So
He ain't lying.
I don't really.
Well, but at the same.
But if I were to pick one, I'd pick the new tour. But I said I'd pick the new tour. But I mean, that's me. One man's opinion.
Well, I was going to say too. I mean, let's not forget the Parade Revolution. You can grab any one of them performances, in my opinion, and hands down, that's one of the coldest. You can pull the video. You can pull America, the video. To me, that's Around the World in a Day Jam. They shut that down.
Yes, they did.
They was tight. They were on. And let's not forget too. 23 or whatever Prince said. Them motherfuckers was like tight. Like when he break 3 times, he didn't do that with.
Well,
I'm just saying, man. Like Revolution is a cold band.
Well, I will see that, and I will raise you.
Raise.
I will raise you. I believe it's the St. Louis pre-show, and I will give you Pop Life, the Lovesexy band.
Versus
Go
the
look for
Pop
that.
Life from the Parade.
Yes.
So,
And wrong
Oh.
again.
Oh, what?
Hello.
Seldom
That's-
right and wrong again. Yeah, it's me.
Have you not?
I'm back.
Go look. Go look that one up. It is I believe it's the St. Louis pre-show rehearsal. They do a version of Pop Life that is killer. Blows away blows away a Revolution Parade performance.
if we talk performances from at least from Parade, I gotta throw in, and technically this isn't a Parade show, but Mike, you spoke of it not too long ago. I gotta talk about Sheila E., San Francisco '86, Love Bazaar, fellas. We gonna take a wooden leg. We gonna chop this tree down, this oak tree. We gonna make it wood. Fellas, chop. Come on. Again.
Yeah, man.
Come on, that is just. That is, and then and we'll give some love for Bobby Z, Bobby rode on that, and they were doing the wooden leg. Woo, yes sir. I don't know. I'm starting to go back to the counter revolution.
I'll throw something to the Sign of the Times, like they need it. But let's not forget New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Miles Davis. That last 15, 20 minutes where Prince had them going through all these different little things and flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble, yeah, all that crazy. That was ill. That to me, that's one of the other.
I think you just won it. They were able to jam with Miles Davis. Can you envision Wendy and Lisa?
Well, no. See, let me be clear too. I think that. See, personally, that show to me was borderline disrespectful to Miles, because I don't feel like. I think Prince was actually trying to mess up Miles, not like trying to like negatively really going at him. But when I watch that, it seems like Prince is he knows his band, knows him. He's doing all the little hand signals, and Miles don't know all that. And I just think, to me, he felt like he was trying, and then just, okay, go. And I was just like, come on, man, you're supposed to give him a little more space, because I don't feel like Miles really got comfortable enough to really go in on that like he should have. And I kind of felt like Prince was kind of like trying to test Miles or something like that. You don't test Miles.
Said he was dirty macking?
Yeah, I just feel like, to me, it was like I know you dope and you the man, but I'm gonna put you on the spot and see what you can do. Like I just feel like I feel a little kind of way about that. Like, man, you're supposed to let him know it's about to go so that he can do his thing. I just felt like he was kind of trying to show out a little bit, like Prince can do sometimes, because this band is he knew his band was ridiculous, and he knew his band was watching his little fingertips, and they had all this extra shit that they could just jump into a drop of a hat, which was dope. But I just felt like, man, you're not supposed to be doing that to Miles. He don't know all your little routines and stuff.
It's,
That conspiracy
it's funny.
theory brought to you by Michael Dean.
No. It's true. It's funny you bring that up because I had read something a while back when I mentioned the Ron Wood Sting appearance in London, and I don't remember which. I think it was Ron Wood said that Prince was throwing these hands things up, and the band was changing this and doing that and horn stabs and he was saying we couldn't keep up with them. We didn't know what what to expect, what was going on.
Yeah. But go ahead. If anybody else wants something.
I'm trying to think of another performance I can throw at you. I know I got something.
I think we've hit them all. I really do. I don't really think there's any more.
Well, let me throw this out to the listeners, to those that are watching too. If you can, and the YouTube thing, just real quick, just say Revolution or Sign in Times, Lovesexy. I just kind of want to get the vibe of the people. We're kind of just winding it down here. Again, my last little hoorah to say is, for years, and maybe I might change tomorrow, I was for years, Sign in Time, Lovesexy all day, Eric Lee, Alana Bliss, Sheila. I mean, they kill it for all the reasons you guys said. But I know a couple days ago I went back and I hadn't listened to it recently as much, and I went back and listened to that Purple Rain, man. That this is before the Purple Rain tour. This is before the album even dropped, Purple Rain. This was Prince after show. This was not a regular, concert. This was a special one-off show. And Prince did some songs that were out at the time, some that weren't. And to me, that band, I felt good hearing those songs. I was like, God, this is. And for me, I'm the '80s Prince all day. Specifically, 1990, Dirty Mind, Purple Rain, Air, musically, that's my joint. And then after that, the 85, 86, all that. But that core Prince stuff, in my opinion, they just played it. It was so jamming, it was so hard hitting. When Doves Cry. Like I said before, Something in the Water, 17 Days. I got some of the. What's the one?
Irresistible Bitch.
Irresistible Bitch.
Irresistible Bitch.
Roadhouse Garden, All Day, All Night. Noon Rendezvous, Free. Our Destiny. Like that whole concert, man, was just. And then there's the rehearsal footage, video footage that's out there. I mean, they was just raw to me. And when
I don't. Far be it for me to win your argument for you, but we didn't even discuss the live version of Computer Blue, which they do their thing on that.
Yeah, I mean that Purple Rain show, it doesn't have all the theatrics and it doesn't have all the choreography of the later ones, but them just playing the music, even like I said, my man Bobby Z, he's a genius for what he pulled off. Because a lot of cats can't do that, where they can have, and let's be clear, no one ever thought he missed a beat on those songs. You can't go back and listen to one of them joints live and think that all the beats weren't on there or something. They were banging. It was on point. And it was, claps was popping, and you know what I'm saying? Like that was, it was just ridiculous. So for that reason, man, and then we're counting parade and all that. They even got, so that's to me the parade time is when the Revolution, they were learning, and they went up a couple notches, and he was like, oh my God, damn. This is ridiculous.
See, this is why you can't let Michael go off, because they be having you rethinking everything. I'm ready to change from Christian to Judaism right now.
Well, I was gonna say, when we start.
I'm almost finished. We'll go to you.
Oh, okay, all right.
What I was gonna say, you see all that, and you're just like, man, this is just magic. That how could it get any better? And so for that alone, my pick, the Revolution. Not only, well, I'll say this now. You can change it. Not only are they actually better than Lovesexy, Sign of the Times, they play the music better for me in 2014. In context of as it came out, I picked the Lovesexy band all day. But now looking back at it, I prefer to listen to that Revolution style because it was straight no chasing. And it was the Prince shit. It wasn't all the little flourishes. I want the funk. Give it to me raw. Give it to me how it is. And lastly, I would say, as I said earlier, to me, those musicians may not have been the best, but they were more hungry, and they just played what they played. No different than when I look at like D'Angelo, when he first came out with the band, the Soul Aquarians, I don't necessarily think all of them were the tightest musicians in the world. But they were the most raw, hungriest mother suckers out, and they was going to rock it. Versus the seasoned dudes that maybe Prince had playing with him at the time. They wasn't raw and funky like Pino and D and Quest and all them cats. And that's how I look at the Revolution. They was raw back then. I'm done. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is kind of what along the lines, and we were talking strictly Revolution. We were talking, Purple Rain era Revolution versus Lovesexy Times. I said it was almost no contest. It was almost unfair. I would say Lovesexy Times. But now that we've added, I guess I don't know if it's 3 against 2 or whatever, but once we added Counter Revolution to it, my opinion has changed because I think that if you just put the Counter Revolution, let's leave the Revolution out. If you put the Counter Revolution up against Lovesexy Times, for me, I prefer Counter Revolution, and I think we've gone and mentioned the reasons why, the performances why. I think that, as Mike said, that band was more looser. That band, I won't go as far as to say raw, but I think they showed more of an enthusiasm for playing and for doing what Prince was doing at the time than, say, the Lovesexy Sign of Times band. I just think that those shows were more collaborative. I think they had more input into what they did, and actually I interviewed Dr. Fink, and he did kind of say that was that they had a little bit more influence into the arrangements that went into the Purple Rain show versus later tours. So for me, for discussion, if it's Counter Revolution versus Lovesexy Sign of Times, Counter Revolution, and it's not nostalgia.
I think it's a question of, and I'm going to do what Mike did a little bit. Excuse me. It's about the hunger and the rawness. Back in '81, when Van Halen did their Fair Warning tour, they had to work for a living, and they brought the thunder. By the time they got to 1984 and that album, they were fat and bloated. The Revolution, hungry, bringing the thunder, bringing the heat every night, and they played together as a unit. Whereas the bands with Renato and things of that nature, and a lot of the Sign of the Times band had better individual players at spots, but they did not play together with that fire. Because I was the other way for the longest time until I saw the Parade warm-up shows from First Avenue, and that shut it down for me. Then Ant mentions the Parade tour and the Paris show where they recorded Beautiful Night. I'm like, yeah, that's the Revolution. That is not the Sign of the Times band. Sign of the Times band is great, but as a unit, I got to give the nod to the Revolution. Plus, I like the hat he wore in When Doves Cry. I did rock that. I did rock that hat at the concert. Yes, I did.
Go ahead, Ant.
Damn it! Clearly, it's me against the world. So I'm just gonna
As
go.
usual.
Man, whatever. I got a lariat for you. Anyway. I'm just gonna say, for those of you on Valiant, Dortmund, the St. Louis rehearsal. I think there's a Minnesota rehearsal that's floating around too, where they have this extra long version of I Know, which Michael Dean, I've been a listener since '07. You will swear by the ball,
Yep.
and I know that version of the on the rehearsal is bananas. And I mean, Anastasia, super fucking califragisexy, Bob George, uh, Pop Life,
That was
When You
revolutionary.
Were Mine, Alphabet Street. Now I'm talking about their performance, and of course, Housequake, Strange Relationships, and It's Gonna Be a Beautiful Night. I'm just gonna say it. Peer Pressure made me believe Sign of the Time Lovesexy Band was his best of all time. My own eyes and ears and the internet confirmed it. That's my vote.
All right. All right. I can't argue with that, man. I mean, you know.
Fortunately, I'm going down in flames by myself because
No. Stand,
Well,
stand where you stand, brother. All right. So I think that's we've had our says. If we were voting wise, I guess we'd go to the revolution. But you know what? The people speak to as well. Both bands are ridiculous. Yeah, both bands are strengthened. Any last words before we wrap this up?
Wait, Rocket Bash has a question. He said, before I end the podcast, which band, Sign of the Time Lovesexy, or The Revolution, would you send to Paisley Park to teach Prince's current band how to play Prince's music right?
ooh. Well, it depends on which band are we talking about. Are we talking Third Eye Girl, or are we talking the band he put together that went to City Winery and shut it down last year?
I think you're talking about Third Eye Girl. That's the only one that's getting complaints.
Well, that's a whole different thing, man. They need to step off the Third Eye Girl, man. They really do.
I agree.
I would say if you had to go, I wouldn't have them teach the band. I would have them teach Prince.
Send cards and letters to Michael Dean.
Yeah, I would have them remind Prince what the music's because ultimately, at the end of the day, he can teach anybody anything. I think what he's going for. For me, like, yeah, Third Eye Girl's good side project, but let's get back to your real shit, man. That's my.
And Wendy will let him know too.
She would.
She will straighten him out.
At the same point, I have no desire to, and this is not a shot to them, please, but I don't necessarily have a desire for him to reunite with the Revolution in terms of making new music. It would be cool to see them hit the stage together, but I think I don't know where they're at musically right now. I don't know if they're still the same band as they were over 30 years ago.
I'm just saying, Bobby Z was up to the task. Prince is leaving easily $150 million off the table. He just said, "Nah, I don't want that money." If Bobby Z is up to the task, he's leaving easily $150 million off the table. Easy. They would sell out all over this country.
But
And probably Europe.
Prince already sold out.
No, I'm talking about stadiums.
Did you guys?
He ain't selling out stadiums.
He sold out 21 nights. He didn't have the Revolution.
Wait, how big is O2 though?
O2's pretty big, man.
Big. Man.
O2's pretty large. I mean, it's not Wembley, but it's pretty large.
Okay.
Well, in regards to the Revolution, just real quick, we'll have to get into a long discussion on it. But did you guys hear the I guess it was called My Purple Heart disc? Okay, so the Revolution, they can play his stuff, you know. I thought that disc, that performance is pretty good. Some of the vocals, of course, you know, little lacking because it's not, you know, not the man, but I thought they put the music together pretty good.
I got to co-sign that.
Got another comment. Just want to make sure we get everybody's on there. Revolution has jams, but Sign, Love, in less than 2 years showed Prince's range. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and Dream Team and gentlemen.
Lord.
Yes, sir.
What's in that tea?
Water. So we got to get ready to get up out of here. First of all, before we go around the room, let me just say thank you To everybody with the birthday wishes. Special shout out to a couple people. Man, I was surprised. I'm not gonna blast names out, but a couple people actually sent me some birthday uh, things, and I really appreciate that. Like that's something you didn't have to do, and that really speaks to the love, man. So shout out to my friend in Trinidad, sir. Thank you so much. Much respect to you for that. Um, Also, a big shout out to everybody who's continuing to listen to the show, and for y'all that even spend your personal time tonight and are watching us. This is a big deal for us. I can speak for the fellas doing this live thing, and it only works if we have people to respond to and that are checking us out. So we want to salute you and really thank you for taking your time, because time is valuable, time is precious, and hopefully that we gave you some entertainment and you had some fun tonight. Shout out to Brandon, Rockabash, Quentin, Gregory, the gentleman who just left a message that I posted. It disappeared on my board. I think it was Court or something, I believe. But shout out to you, sir, for leaving the message there. Lastly, my commercial part will be over. Is if you haven't already, join or check out Podcast Juice All Access. I'm doing podcasting. This is how I eat or don't eat. So I really need some help. And one way of helping out the show is to go on to podcastjuice.net/all access. It's $5 a month, but it gives you access to over 9 years of classic podcasting that we've been doing. Shows like the Prince Podcast, some of our new stuff like High Heel Boots, which is a Prince Bootleg show that we do, the Round Table, Geeked Out, the original episodes of Geeked Out, Chopping It Up. The list goes on. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, stuff I totally forgot I even had. So that's one way of helping us out. So definitely, if you can, check us out on that. Then, as we get out of here, we're going to let you know where we can find the rest of the fellas. So we're going to start with Mr. Big Sexy in Black.
Well, I can be on Facebook under my name, Mark Wiggins. I can also be found on Twitter under Big Sexy and Sack, and I'm in the process of moving in and setting up my office. Signed the lease, started moving things in this week, so the new HQ will be hopefully online this weekend.
Nice. That's man. Congratulations, man.
Oh man, long time coming, man. Thank you. I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Once we wrap this up, can we still talk online, or do we need to clear this? I got someone to talk to you and Ann about.
We'll clear this, but we'll catch up. We'll jump on Skype or something.
Okay, cool.
All right, Aunt Pooh. Where can we find you at?
Man, I can see me on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I better have my back and tell me how the Lovesexy band is dope. I'm looking I have a new column of tomorrow, Breaking Kayfabe, and go to 411 Mania right now. Go read my top 8 movies that should be comic books and comics that should be movies. You'll never guess what number 1 is.
Oh, and tell us the website again.
411mania.com. Go read that now. Comment, tell me how off base I am, whatever.
All right. And Mr. Sean Hill, sir, where can they find you?
All right, you find me on Twitter at Hill Street Views, also Facebook, Sean Hill, and Real Movie Talk, and then the blog, hillstreetviews.blogspot.com. I am asking for special prayers for tomorrow. I'm going to screen Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, no.
So all thoughts and prayers, please send them my way as I'm screening this film to write a review for it. So
I will pray that Jim Carrey makes a surprise appearance at that theater. How about that? That'd make up for something, right?
Yeah.
You never know. It might be fun.
I know. I'm the wait and see guy. But I just watched the first one this weekend after probably had seen it since it came out, and yeah.
All right, and shout out to Ken Cole. Thank you, sir, for jumping in. I don't know how you jumped in there like that, but we love it. Keep doing it.
Ken. Do your thing, man.
Don't crash with us. All right, you know what we do. We'll see you next time. Check us out, podcastjuice.net. You guys be safe. Good night.